Under a cloudy sky with a game-time temperature of 72 degrees, we welcome you live to Bison Hill on the campus of Oklahoma Baptist University in Shawnee and Bison Softball Park for Game 1 of a 3-game weekend conference series between the Bison of Oklahoma Baptist and the Rangers of Northwestern Oklahoma State. Hello again, everybody. I'm Todd Miller. Glad to have you along on this Friday afternoon. Today's game, originally scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight, has been bumped up about 4 or 5 hours to try and get in before the thunderstorms develop in central Oklahoma and move east. Northwestern comes in struggling. The Rangers, though, are coming off their first win of their last 18 games, knocking off arch rival Southwestern Tuesday night at Alva 11-10. Jill Devery's club is 8-19, 3-18 in conference play. She is in her 5th season. Oklahoma Baptist comes in with a record of 10-11 in conference play and 15-13 overall. They are headed up by Sam Maples, who is in her 3rd season. Here's a look at the batting lineups. First of all, for Northwestern Oklahoma State, leading off at first base is Hannah Howell. Batting second for the Lady Rangers in center field is Lindsey McElroy. Hitting third at second base is Callie Johnson. Hitting cleanup, the DP, Mesa Gann. Batting fifth for Northwestern in left field is Jaden Solberg. Hitting sixth for the Lady Rangers at third base, Allison Zanka. Batting seventh at shortstop is Alana Giorgio. Hitting eighth for Northwestern and catching is Kaylin Leon. And hitting ninth and in right field is Kelsey Housley. We'll be back with a look at OBU starting lineups of the first pitch from Kaylee Jones in just a moment. Our national anthem before today's first pitch. Oklahoma Baptist hosting Northwestern Oklahoma State in the first of a 3-game Great American Conference Series. Defensively for the Bison at first base, it's Emily Richardson. Hitting at second base is Kylie Kawamura. The shortstop is Cheyenne Sandoval. And at third base is Asia Henry. From left to right around the outfield, it's McKenna Anderson, Shelby Savage, and Cheyenne Demery. Josie Sparks is the catcher for Kaylee Jones, the right-hander who is looking for her 12th victory of the season. Kaylee Jones, her record 11-5, earned a run average of 2.25. She leads the Great American Conference in strikeouts with 110, and she will go over 100 innings worked more than likely here this afternoon against Northwestern. So Kaylee Jones will face Howell, McElroy, and Johnson here for the first. OBU wearing the white and green tops over black bottoms. Northwestern Oklahoma State in the road gray and black trimmed in red. Game time temperature 72 degrees. It is cloudy, chance of rain, about 90% mid to late afternoon today here at Shawnee. And the winds gentle out of the south-southeast at about 10 miles per hour. So Hannah McElroy will lead off the first inning for Northwestern Oklahoma State. Lady Rangers again getting a big victory over Southwestern 11-10 in walk-off fashion Tuesday night at home at Alva. Hannah Howell hitting .415 on the season. She is 4th in the Great American Conference in total hits with 34. She's homered 3 times and driven in 19. Northwestern plays in a homer-friendly park. It's a wide open space that is south of town, and the wind predominantly blows out to left field. As a team, the Lady Rangers this year have given up 23 home runs and hit 16. In the Division II era, 13-7 the all-time series in favor of Oklahoma Baptist. The Bison currently working on their longest win streak in the series with Northwestern, 5 straight. Here we go. Hannah Howell, the right-hander against Kaylee Jones, and we are off and running from Bison Park. And the first pitch of the afternoon is a strike. 4-4 in 8 home games as OBU against Northwestern Oklahoma State. The series again began back in 2016. In comes the 0-1 pitch from Kaylee Jones. Rise ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Corners in, especially Asia Henry at third. The outfield straight up and at normal depth. On a rare spring day here in Shawnee in which the wind is not howling straight out to left field. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Challenged her away, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. OBU comes in 15-13. They are 10-11 in Great American Conference play. Sam Maples has already started to turn this program around in a big way, and it started in the circle. She was a great pitcher at the Division I level. Swing and a miss. Down goes Howell, and that's the way the afternoon starts. So Jones records her 111th strikeout of the season, and now Lindsey McElroy, the center fielder for the Lady Rangers, steps in. Kaylee Jones with 111 strikeouts on the season. And her walk total is very, very impressive as well. She has walked just 35 in nearly 97 innings. First pitch is a swing and a miss for a strike. It's 0-1. OBU has had more success against Northwestern away from Shawnee and Alva than they have at home. They're 4-4. Since 2016, they swept the Lady Rangers at Alva last year and have won 9 of 12 at the Lady Rangers home ballpark. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 years ago here in Shawnee, February 25th, OBU recorded their largest victory of the series, 15-3. Next pitch, good swing, fouled at back of the screen, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Bison are oh so close to being right near the top of the Great American Conference. They had late inning leads in all 3 games at Southeastern, dropped 2 of 3 to the league-leading Savage Storm. And a wild game broke against them on Tuesday night in Bethany, 2 balls, 2 strikes. In that game against SNU, the Bison got the early jump 1-0. Southern Nazarene rallied for 2 in the bottom of the 5th to take a 1-run lead. Bison got 2 in the top of the 6th, leading 3-2. Bottom of the 6th, Southern Nazarene scored 2 to take a 4-3 lead. OBU in the top of the 7th and picked up 2 to take a 5-4 lead, and then Southern Nazarene walked it off in an 8-5 victory in the bottom of the 7th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Lindsey McElroy, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Well, it looked down and in, to be honest with you, and McElroy thought it was a walk. As you can see there, she had made a break towards first base. So back-to-back strikeouts for Kaylee Jones to start this afternoon, and here is Callie Johnson. Callie Johnson of the season, hitting 3rd of the ball club. This is her 28th start, hitting .302, no home runs and 3 driven in. Callie Johnson has 8 doubles to count among her 25 hits. First pitch up in the zone, swing and a miss, strike 1. Haley Jones suffered her 5th loss on Tuesday night at Bethany at Southern Nazarene, that 8-5 walk-off defeat. Sam Maples going through the signs at the third base dugout. The 0-1 pitch into the handle, it popped up and off the top of the backstop, so it's no balls, 2 strikes. In 20 previous meetings with Northwestern, Oklahoma Baptist has averaged just a tick under 6.5 runs per ball game. They have totaled 129, including 15 of this ballpark last year. And a 4-game sweep of the Rangers at Alva last year, in which they scored double digits in 3 of the 4. 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sam Maples, 46-62, 3rd season here on Bison Hill. 31-45, Oklahoma Baptist with Maples as their head coach against the Great American Conference. 1-2 the pitch. Stays upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. As a team, Northwestern now has struck out 131 times of the season. They've drawn 72 walks. Their .272 batted average ranks them just a tick above OBU for 7th in the Great American Conference team standings. Foul ball back to the screen, still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lady Rangers 7th in the league, 274. OBU 8th at 273 in team batted average. The difference, though, the vast difference between these two has been in the circle. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball into right. Demery was playing shallow, comes in and makes the catch. And the inning is over. So it's a stress-free first inning for Kaylee Jones. No score after a half inning with OBU coming up next on the Bison Sports Network. No score after a half inning. Welcome back to Shawnee. Todd Miller with you on the Bison Sports Network. McKenna Anderson will lead off and play left. Kylie Calamura will bat second. She plays second. Cheyenne Demery hits third out at right field. Jaden James is the DP and the cleanup hitter. Josie Sparks is the catcher. She'll bat fifth, hitting sixth for OBU. At first base, Emily Richardson. Batting seventh at third, Asia Henry. Hitting eighth in short is Cheyenne Sandoval, and batting ninth in center field is Shelby Savage. OBU will get their first look of the season against 5'8" sophomore right-hander from Anna, Texas, Hannah Howe. Hannah from Anna appeared in 14 games a year ago, starting 11 of those as a freshman, striking out 31, posted a 6.35 earned run average. No score, and McKenna Anderson, who had been hitting in the lower portion of the lineup for much of the year, will lead off here in the home half of the first. Bison need wins as they are clinging to life in the eighth and final playoff position of the standings. First pitch is a strike away, and it's 0-1 to McKenna Anderson. Anderson 21 for 61, a 344 batted average, a double, 6 RBIs, 7 strikeouts. Last year hit 292. Drove in 10 in 17 games. In comes the pitch, downstairs, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. McKenna Anderson has 7 career extra base hits. All of those have been doubles. The last came 2 weeks ago down in Durant against Southeastern on April the 1st. She had gone 49 at-bats in between extra base hits. A little flare out to short. Giorgio had it hit her glove. It caroms off of it, goes into foul territory. And McKenna Anderson stands at second base. And that on cue will be a double for McKenna Anderson. Elena Giorgio had a tough play. That ball was not hit very hard at all. It was ranging deep hole short. Giorgio ranged to her right, had a beat on it, but the ball tailored away from her, hit the webbing of her glove, and then shot well into foul territory. So a leadoff extra base hit for McKenna Anderson. Here is Kylie Calamura. Calamura hitting .363, 29 hits, 80 at-bats. Lays off of a pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Calamura hit well over 400 for the first 6 weeks of the season. Since then, she has slumped just a little bit, but started to come out of it. At least 1 base hit for Calamura in 6 of her last 8. 2 balls, no strikes. Calamura has driven in 11, struck out 10, and walked 3 times. She's been hit by 1 pitch. She has not driven in an RBI in her last 6 games. Has a chance here to give OBU the early jump of the first. The 0-2 pitch, or 2-0 pitch, is fouled off, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Let's see if it works with Calamura. She has only 1 extra base hit in her last 11 games, and that came towards the end of the last homestand, a 2-1 series victory over Arkansas Tech for the Bison. She had that double against Tech on March the 27th. No score, OBU with the game's first base runner, a leadoff double by Anderson. Here's the pitch. Hit hard and foul on the third base side. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You can see, maybe you can, and probably not paying that much of attention, but assistant coach Kyle Webb is in the first base box today. Head coach Sam Maples is at third. Those two kind of platoon. They rotate around. Sam sometimes works the first base box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In comes the pitch. Line right at the shortstop, and she dropped it. And everybody is safe, and that'll be an error on the shortstop, Giorgio. The problem Giorgio had is she had a chance to double up Anderson, and she knew it. All she had to do was hold on to that liner and then throw back into second. Instead, it's E6, and the first 2 have reached now for the always dangerous Cheyenne Demery. Northwestern with their league-leading 50th error of the season. And a big threat here early for Cheyenne Demery and Oklahoma Baptist. Hal winds and delivers, and the first pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Cheyenne Demery playing in her 184th game, making start number 168 here at OBU, hitting .339, her career batting average just over .330. The pitch, bunted but foul up the third base side. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Cheyenne Demery's career high in runs batted in came back in 2018 against Northwestern. She had 7 RBIs in a game. That year, she ranked second in RBIs with 29 and home runs with 10 among Bison hitters. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Hal downstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. Cheyenne Demery playing in her 23rd game of her 5th season at a Pryor High School here on Bison Hill. Start number 22 has hit safely in 2 straight, 4 of her last 5. Drops down a good bunt in front of home plate and no play. Hannah Howell came charging in and picked it up, and nobody was at first base, so that'll be an infield single for Cheyenne Demery, and the bases are loaded. So I told you it was Howell. It's actually Hannah Scroggin that is the pitcher. Hannah Howell is at first base. And now already the assistant coach Taylor Zanka is headed out to the circle. Taylor Zanka might be a familiar name to OBU softball fans. She spent 1 year here at Oklahoma Baptist before finishing up her playing career last year at Northwestern. She now has moved into a coaching role on Jill Devery's staff. Taylor Zanka looking eye to eye into the eyes of Hannah Scroggin, trying to get her settled down. So while the bases are loaded, really there probably should be 2 out. A double, an infield hit, and an error on the shortstop, Elena Giorgio, and they're loaded for Jaden James. Jaden James is kind of interesting. Jaden James made her debut on Tuesday night in Bethany against Southern Nazarene. I say that because Jaden James played in almost every game last year. She takes the first pitch from Scroggin for a strike. It's 0-1. Jaden, though, had a lot of personal issues, deaths in the family, so she's been away from the program. Ground ball fair to first. They come home and get the force out. So James rolls into a 1-2 fielder's choice. And there's out number 1 of the bases remain loaded. Jaden James reaches first on the fielder's choice. Here is Josie Sparks. That ball just hugged the chalk line as best it could. Wasn't hit all that sharply. It was in front of the first base bag, so an easy play for Hannah Howell, who threw to Leon covering home plate. Here's Josie Sparks, who takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Josie Sparks enters the ball game, hitting .256, 20 hits, 4 of those for extra bases, including 2 home runs and 12 driven in. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. OBU this year has had trouble in the first inning. They've been doubled up in terms of runs scored. The opponents have scored 18 runs to the Bison's 9 through the first 2 months of the season. 2 balls and 1 strike. Told you OBU has not hit real well this year, just .273, and they have left a ton of base runners on. In comes the pitch, and a ground ball into left field, base hit. Coming home to score is Kawamura. And they'll remain loaded after Sparks gives OBU an early 1-0 lead. So Josie Sparks with a ground ball single into left. And here is Emily Richardson.
Emily Richardson.
Emily Richardson comes to the plate with the bases loading, hitting 1 for 4 in this situation. Emily on the season a .241 hitter with 1 home run and 11 driven in. First pitch is downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Richardson's only home run, you might remember, came on the opening day of the season. OBU swept Northeastern State and Nebraska Kearney. They went 8 to beat UNK. There's a ground ball headed to short, and it's booted by Giorgio, but she stays with it, flips with the glove hand, and Johnson covering the bag to get the out. Demery comes home to score. It's 2-0 on the RBI ground out by Emily Richardson. So a good play by Giorgio, the Ranger shortstop. RBI fielder's choice for Richardson, and here is Asia Henry. Finishing the thought on Emily Richardson, at the bottom of the 8th inning, Richardson hit a walk-off grand slam on the opening day of the season to beat Nebraska Kearney, and she's not homered since. So Asia Henry, the starting third baseman, will bat, hitting .214 over 25 starts. Takes the first pitch at the letters for a strike, and it's 0-1. 2 runs, 3 hits. OBU aided by a fielded error. In comes Scroggins' pitch, hit hard and just missing Sam Maples. And it's no balls, 2 strikes. Asia Henry wearing number 20, a junior from Oklahoma City out of Butler Community College. Had a solid year, especially defensively at third base for OBU. Here's the 0-2 pitch, wide of the target, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 2-0 OBU. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Scheduled to play 7. They'll play 2 more starting at noon tomorrow here in Shawnee. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a liner to third, caught by Zanka. That will do it. OBU plates 2. They leave 2 aboard after 1. 2-0 Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
For OBU in the bottom of the first inning, there are 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. Traded in for more and buy for less at Uniberg Auto Group. Visit Uniberg.com to browse their selection of thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles, or stop at one of their 4 metro locations.
Show your OBU spirit in Rep Carip with officially licensed Bison apparel from ShopOBUBison.com. ShopOBUBison.com is the official online store of OBU Athletics and the only place online to buy OBU apparel, accessories, gifts, and more, with purchases benefiting Bison Athletics. Todd Miller back with you on the OBU campus in Shawnee. 3 up, 3 down for Kaylee Jones. She now begins inning number 2 of work, staked to a 2-0 lead, and she'll face the DP and the cleanup hitter Mesa Gann to start things for Northwestern. Mesa Gann wearing number 26 in black, trimmed in red on the back of the road gray jerseys. 5'10" sophomore from Fort Gibson, Oklahoma.
Number 26 designated player, Mesa Gann.
Mesa Gann is playing in her 20th game, 11th start, 11 hits, a home run, and 6 driven in. Gann, Solberg, Zanka, Giorgio, if anybody reaches against Kaylee Jones. Jones gets the sign, and here we go, inning number 2 underway, and it's slapped back and off the backstop pole, and carries back out to first, strike 1. To show you the job that Sam Maples has done to the circle. Last year, as a freshman, now you have to consider she was a freshman. She only made 10 appearances and 3 starts. Jones only had 13 strikeouts and an ERA higher than 10. Called strike, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. This year, her earned run average is 2.25 with a record, again, of 11 wins and 5 losses. Went 5 innings, took the loss Tuesday night at Bethany against Southern Nazarene. 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned. Pitch misses away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. She struck out 4. Jones has struck out 4 more in 3 straight, including 5 and 7 in her 2 appearances down at Durant against league-leading Southeastern. 1-2 the count. In comes the pitch. Hit off the backstop again, so Gann stays alive. Jones has had 3 double-digit strikeout games this year, matching her career high twice against Southern Nazarene here on March the 9th with 11, and at a victory over Fort Hays State in this ballpark March 16th. Pitch is low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Her other double-figure strikeout game came on March the 13th at East Central. OBU won it by a 5-0 count. She allowed just 4 hits, no runs, and struck out 10. Kaylee Jones, sophomore right-hander. In comes the pitch. Low, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jones has walked 4 or more 4 times. Her season high came against Northeastern State of the season opener. February the 21st, she walked 6. 2 other 5-walk games, but for the most part has been able to keep the walks in check. A little pop-up could be trouble. Anderson, though, comes charging in and shallow left. Makes the catch, and there's out number 1. McKenna Anderson can cover a lot of ground, and that ball wouldn't hit very hard off Gann's bat, and it was sinking. But Anderson stayed with it, and that's 4 up, 4 down now for the Lady Rangers against Kaylee Jones, and here is Jaden Solberg. Jaden Solberg making start 25, appearance 26, hitting .229, 16 for 70. And well over half of her hits have been for extra bases. First pitch upstairs, she laid off of it, 1 ball, no strikes. Solberg has 3 doubles to go along with a triple and a team-high 5 home runs. Solberg is senior out of nearby Chandler, Oklahoma. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Little high, 2 balls, no strikes. Chance of rain later this afternoon. One of the reasons that this game was moved up for 4 or 5 hours. The schedule remains tomorrow at Twin Bill starting at noon. Large hail a possibility later today in Shawnee. 2-0 pitch. Blew a fastball past her. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Kaylee Jones had a stretch, including 2 games against East Central and the Fort Hays game here at home, in which she blanked the opponents in 3 straight trips to the circle. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Upstairs, 3 balls and 1 strike. During that time, she allowed a total of 9 hits. She worked 15 1/3 innings. And OBU went 2-1 during that stretch. They won the series 2-1 over East Central, then beat Fort Hays State here at home before losing to Cameron. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, went right after her. Kaylee Jones had an earned run average of 2.5, as recently as a month ago on March the 12th, and since then it has been dropping like a rock. However, the last 2 outings in which she's given up 7 earned runs have moved it back to 2.25. There's a strikeout and a swing and a miss. A 3rd strikeout now for Kaylee Jones, and 2 up, 2 down for the Lady Rangers. And here comes Allison Zanka. Allison Zanka, whose sister Taylor, as we told you, and is assistant of the ball club, is number 1 of the Great American Conference with 10 doubles this season. Both come from a bloodline of Rangers. Her dad, Tom, was an outstanding player out of Massachusetts in the early 90s. First pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. In fact, I had a chance to do the play-by-play for Tom Zanka's final year in 1990 up in Alva. He was a special, special player. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Zanka has struck out 15 times this year. On base percentage is .318, but again, a team in league high 10 doubles on the year. 2-0 OBU, nobody on, 2 out, top of the second. Here's the pitch. Popped up and straight back and out of play. One other note on the Zankas, we told you that Taylor played here, then went to Alva for her final year, now as an assistant coach. She is actually engaged to former St. Gregory's / Oklahoma Baptist first baseman DH P.J. Harris. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Little high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 runs, 3 hits, Oklahoma Baptist. No runs, no hits through an inning and 2/3 for the Rangers today against Kaylee Jones. In comes the 1-2 pitch. Popped it up, and that should get out of play. Sparks takes a look at it, and it goes off the top of the press box and then bangs into the middle bleachers down below. OBU and the Rangers doing battle in baseball. A big series this weekend up in Alva at Myers Stadium on the Northwestern campus. First pitch tonight, 6 o'clock. Scott Creedon, one of the best in the conference, will go for the Rangers against Jake Lepetsky for OBU. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball. Glove by the shortstop, Sandoval. Onto her feet. Throws to first and got her. Great play by Cheyenne Sandoval to take away what looked to be a 2-out single for Allison Zanka. 6 straight up, 6 straight down. Retired by Kaylee Jones. To the bottom of the second we go. In Shawnee, 2-0 Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network. Cheyenne Sandoval to lead off, then Shelby Savage, and back to the top of the Bison order with McKenna Anderson here in the bottom of the second. 2-0 Oklahoma Baptist. Bison fans, stay up to date on the latest at OBU Sports by following us on Facebook at OBU or Oklahoma Baptist University Athletics, on Twitter and Instagram at OBU_athletics. Keep up with all things OBU. Also, you can keep up with OBU softball on their Twitter and Instagram page at OBU_softball. So Cheyenne Sandoval will lead off, hitting .220, 20 hits, 91 at-bats. Home run, 11 driven in. In the recently concluded 4-game road trip, 3 in Durant, 1 at Southern Nazarene, she was 2 for 9. Has not had an extra base hit since March the 16th, a home run here against Fort Hays State. Lefty versus righty, first pitch, grounded right back up the middle and into center for a base hit. So for the second straight inning, the Bison had their leadoff hitter on, and here comes Shelby Savage. Shelby, along with Cheyenne Dimry, the old ladies in this ball club. Shelby has been just a terrific player for OBU. This is her 204th career game, and she started all 204. Has 169 career hits, 18 career doubles, and 5 career home runs. Fly ball into center field, hit pretty well, and gone. That's her 6th career home run, and RBIs number 55 and 56. And it is 4-0 Oklahoma Baptist. Housley is giving McElroy a little bit of a lesson on how to time the jump out there in center field. Kelsey apparently thought that maybe Lindsay could have leaped in time to take that ball away from a home run for Shelby Savage. So the first 2 have scored, 4-0 OBU. Here is McKenna Anderson, who doubled her first time up off the glove of Giorgio, the second base or shortstop. McKenna Anderson, 292 last year. In 2019, 32 appearances, hit .316. She drove in 3 runs in OBU's series opening victory down at Southeastern 2 weeks ago. Punches that ball to the right side. Howe on a big hop. Feeds it to Johnson, covering first, and she missed the bag. It'll be scored an infield hit for McKenna Anderson, who now has 2 base hits. And Kylie Calamuro will be the batter. It looks like that maybe Anderson injured herself as she tried to beat that throw to the bag. She's gimpy and walking very gingerly near the first base coach's box. Puts her hands up as Sam Maples starts to walk across the diamond and said, "I'm okay." So not a good start at all for Northwestern Oklahoma State and Hannah Scroggin. 4 runs, 6 hits already, and the first 3 for the second straight inning have reached. Here's Kylie Calamuro, reached on a fielded error at short, jumps on the first pitch, and a ground ball fair inside the third base bag. Anderson is really gimpy as she wobbles around second base and then puts the stop sign on herself. So back-to-back singles after the 2-run home run by Shelby Savage, and up comes Cheyenne Demery. And that's likely going to be it for Anderson today, as Reagan Ford will come in and run for McKenna at second base. McKenna very gimpy as she walks by Sam Maples, who asked her if she's okay. So don't be surprised if we've seen the last of McKenna Anderson today. It's tough to play outfield with a bad wheel. Walter Wright, the trainer, will try to get her right in the dugout. And there's a gapper to the wall in left center field. 1 run will score. Ford around third. Now they're going to wave around Calamura from third. She will score, and it's 6-0 on a bases clearing double by Cheyenne Demery. So Hannah Scroggin, who has been Northwestern's best this season of the circle, Hannah Howell has been their best. And Scroggin may be about to come out of the ballgame. I think we're going to get a pitching change, and we are. So Scroggin does not retire a batter. She faces 5. 4 have scored here in the second inning. New pitcher will indeed be Hannah Howell. We'll give you Howell's numbers and the defensive change in a moment. 6-0 Bison on the Bison Sports Network.
Todd, 24 to pitch.
For Hannah Howell. And coming to first base, number 1, Kelsey Bushy.
Hannah Howell has come into the circle, as we told you. Kelsey Bushy is in as the flex player now at first base. So Hannah Howell, who has the best record on the team at 5-8, 4.45 earned run average, are coming to try to pick up the mess that she inherited from Hannah Scroggin. Scroggin was 1-8 coming in, covered 11 appearances, 10 starts, and her earned run average is ballooned today. It was 4.43. Here is Jaden James, who rolled into a fielder's choice her first time up. She'll be the first to face Hannah Howell, and the first pitch is at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Jaden James, as we were talking about earlier, was in the lineup for the first time on Tuesday night at Southern Nazarene. Went 2 for 3 against the Storm. That pitch is outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Last year, Jaden James in 24 starts hit .359, second of the ball club with 28 hits, a double, 3 home runs, and 18 driven in. So Jaden James is a nice bat to be adding to the lineup in the second week of April. 1 ball, 1 strike, bounce to third. Zanka looks the runner back, now throws to first, and in time to get James, who is now 0 for 2. No advancement by Demery from second base, and here comes Josie Sparks. Josie getting a piece of advice from Jaden James as James walks by her. And on the way to the third base dugout.
Josie Sparks.
Josie Sparks had an RBI single back in the first inning. Bison have gotten RBI hits from Sparks and Richardson. A 2-run home run here this inning by Savage. And a 2-run double 3 hitters later from Cheyenne Demery. 1 ball, no strikes. One ball, no strikes. 1 on and 1 out. And a pop-up out of play, third base side. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Bison this year, with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs, are hitting .465. That will certainly go up after what has been a good offensive start to this one today. So Hannah Howell in for Hannah Scroggin. The pitch is hit deep into left field, and that ball is gone. 2-run home run for Josie Sparks. And it's 8-0 Oklahoma Baptist.
Josie Sparks home run. 3rd of the season.
Sparks with her 3rd home run of the year. RBIs number 14 and 15 of the book is now closed on the Northwestern starter, Hannah Scroggin. So here is Emily Richardson, who has an RBI fielder's choice to her credit. For Scroggin, the best of the staff for Northwestern, that's her,
First baseman, Emily
for Howell, that's her 6th home run of the year. That ties her with Scroggin for the most on the ball club. Still only 1 out. Richardson, the 8th. Bison to bat here in the 2nd. Takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. Northwestern this season on the road is 5-9. They've only won 3 times on their home field this spring. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. By comparison, here at the ballpark, OBU is 7-6 this year. Two balls, no strikes. Hannah Howell brings it home and gets the called strike. It's 2-1. Southeastern with a narrow lead over Southern Arkansas. The Mule Riders got off to a slow start but have won 5 straight. Southeastern 15-3, Southern Arkansas 10-4, the top 2 in the league standings. 2-1 pitch, hard hit, foul, third base side. OBU, who's lost 3 straight, came into this weekend series, 10-11 in the conference. Essentially 2 back of Ouachita for 7th because the Lady Tigers won 2 of 3 here to start the conference season last month. Ouachita 11-10 in the league. Arkansas Tech is 11-7. The Golden Suns have really started to go hot since they left Shawnee. Breaking ball lifted into right field but playable. Over towards the foul line is Housley who makes the catch, and that's out number 2. So Asia Henry will bat for the first time against the 2nd Lady Ranger pitcher of the ballgame, Hannah Howell.
Asia Henry.
Southeastern, Southern Arkansas, the top 2. Southern Nazarene has won 4 straight, including that walk-off victory against Oklahoma Baptist Tuesday. They are 14-7. Harding rounds out the top 4. The Lady Bisons are 12-6. First pitch to Henry is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Southwestern 8-10. East Central and Henderson are both 8-13. Arkansas, Monticello 6-14. And Northwestern of the Cellar at 3-18 in the conference. 2 of the Lady Rangers' victories came on the opening weekend of the conference season at home against UAM. Arkansas, Monticello now has lost 6 straight. 2 balls, no strikes to the third baseman, Asia Henry. Boy, you just wonder if he could have held on to a couple of leads over the last 3 weeks of the season where this OBU team could be in the standings. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Outside corner called, and it's 2-1. Hottest teams in the conference. Southern Arkansas has won 5 straight. Arkansas Tech 6 straight. Southern Nazarene 4 in a row. Bison have lost 3 in a row. Arkansas Monticello 6 in a row. There's the 2-1 pitch. Way outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Northwestern had dropped 17 straight games going into Tuesday night's home game with Southwestern. And the Lady Rangers walked it off against the Lady Bulldogs 11-10. 3 balls and 1 strike. In comes the pitch. And it's gloved by the pitcher, Hal, over to first to retire the side. Bison, though, they bat around. They pick up 6 runs. They do it on 2 home runs and a double. We go to the third, 8-0, Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
For OBU in the bottom of the 6th inning, there are 6 runs on 6 hits, 0 errors, and 0 left on base. After 2 innings, the score is the Rangers 0, OBU 8. Diners, it's not fast food, it's good food fast. Based right here in Shawnee. Stop by one of the 2 locations in town or order online at BoomerangDiners.com.
Reagan's staying in the game.
Reagan Ford will stay in the ball game as she will be the new left fielder. She came in and ran for McKenna Anderson, who hurt herself trying to beat out an infield single at the bottom of the 2nd inning. So it is now Ford, Savage, and Demery from left to right around the outfield. Kaylee Jones has faced 6, retired 6. She'll get the lower third of the lineup, starting with Elena Giorgio, the shortstop. If you were to ask Northwestern fans, you're going to be mirrored in a terrible, terrible slump. If there's one team, one school, one program you could elect to beat to end that misery, who would it be? And it was the team that they beat on Tuesday night 11-10 and did it in dramatic fashion to snap that 17-game losing streak. So Giorgio to lead off. Actually, it's going to be Reagan Burleson to bat. First pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. So Giorgio is out of the ballgame after having a tough first inning defensively. So Reagan Burleson bats the pitch. Big swing, no contact, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Burleson is in for the 8th time this year off of the bench. Her 19th start, 10 hits, a home run, 3 doubles, and 5 driven in. Haley Jones gets the sign, now fires, and a swing and a miss. Down goes Burleson. And that is now 5, make that 4 strikeouts for Kaylee to start the ballgame.
Number 17, Kaylin Leon.
Kaylin Leon will bat. L-I-A-N, the way she spells her last name, but it's pronounced like L-E-O-N. Kaylin Leon is hitting 0 for 14 of the season, making just her 3rd start. First pitch, swing and a miss for a strike. It's 0-1. Jill Devery's career at at Northwestern has been pretty bumpy, and I don't mean that necessarily in terms of wins and losses. In comes the 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 0-2 the count. She got the job after being the assistant coach. An off-the-field incident led to the dismissal in 2017 of the head coach of Northwestern softball. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2 pitch, fouled back. So she inherited the Northwestern program prior to the Lady Rangers' first conference season. Their 2nd league series was here in Shawnee at the time against OBU back in 2017. And, of course, everybody went through that strange year in 2020. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled it back. Good swing again by Leon. So while Jill is in her 5th season, she has only coached 3 full seasons, 18, 19, and now here in 21. After getting the job early in the season at 17 and then last year being shuttered. Pop up out of play, third base side. Count holds at 0-2, so Leon in a good battle. Leon, in her 14 at-bats, has struck out 6 times, drawn a walk. Has scored a pair of runs. This is her 8th start, 10th game of the year. Junior from California. Jones gets the signal, now delivers. And another foul ball, this time over the right to her first base dugout. You're just settling in. OBU with the 2 spot in the second, and then 6 on 6 hits, including a 2-run home run by Savage and a 2-run double by Demery in the second. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Change speeds, down she goes. So after a prolonged battle, Kaylee Jones records the strikeout. And the final Lady Ranger to see Kaylee for the first time, Kelsey Housley now will bat. Kelsey Housley on the season, 3 for 26, an RBI. All 3 hits have been singled. Housley, a left-handed batter, in the first pitch, catches the outside corner for a strike. Kaylee Jones is really in a groove right now. And Northwestern is right in the middle of the conference, or near the middle of the pack, in terms of team batting average. So this isn't a light-hitting team. Their problems have been in the circle, where they came in next to last, only better than Henderson State, with an earned run average of 5.67. 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cloudy sky, 73 degrees. Top of the 3rd inning. First game of 3 this week, and the only today between the Lady Rangers and the Bison. 2 balls and a strike. Told you baseball this weekend up at Alva for a 3-game series. Only 2 games separate the first place Bison and the 4th place Rangers. Northwestern has won 9 straight of the Diamond. OBU's won 5 in a row. Pitch fouled back, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Football will have their only exhibition or scrimmage of the spring season Saturday afternoon at Wantland Stadium in Edmond against UCO. 2-2 pitch. Foul back again off the netting. Volleyball left today, and you need to check out their social media account at OBU_volleyball and see how the 5th-ranked unbeaten league champions travel to Searcy in style. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good swing, foul back to the netting. Bison will face Arkansas Tech tomorrow at Rhodes Reeves Fieldhouse at Harding. Semifinals and finals on Harding's home floor. Both the Bison and Harding Bisons are ranked in the top 10 nationally. Both are undefeated. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Try to check her swing on one upstairs. Did she go around? No, she did not, so it's 3-2. OBU bested Harding last year to win the Great American Conference Volleyball Tournament Championship. That was contested in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Now Sam Maples is coming out of the dugout. And again, they are going to go to first. And again, he says, no, she did not go around. Three balls, 2 strikes to Kelsey Housley, number 9 hitter in the Northwestern lineup. Here's the payoff pitch from Jones. And a called 3rd strike at the knees, and Housley knew it. So Jones has retired all 9 she's faced. In doing so, she has struck out 6 of the 9. And OBU right now cruising through 2.5. It's 8-0 Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
Download the Chick-fil-A One mobile app today and start scanning your way to earning free food.
That is coming right back on. Turn it off, but that was one of the worst ideas we've ever had. Wow. Are you sure about that? 8 after 5. No.
Bison lead it 8-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. The second pitcher of the day is Hannah Howe, their best with a record of 5-8. She gave up 1 run of the 6 OBU scored of the second. The other 5 were credited to the starter, Hannah Scroggin. The run she gave up was off the bat of Josie Sparks, a high fly ball into left field that just got over the fence. So Sandoval, then Savage, and then Reagan Ford to bat here in the third inning. Sandoval had a single to start the OBU second and scored one of the 6 runs. Righty versus lefty, and in comes Howe's first pitch, taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Cheyenne Sandoval hitting .220. The hit in the second inning was her 21st in 92 at-bats this season. In comes the 0-1 pitch. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sandoval, with that hit in the second inning, now has hit safely in 6 of her last 16 ball games, 5 hits during that time. In comes the pitch, slapped it foul, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sandoval began the season with a 5-game hit streak. And now they're calling interference against Cheyenne Sandoval, so she is out. Sam Maples has come down to say something to the home plate umpire. So Sandoval is out on interference. That will be scored 2 unassisted. And here's Shelby Savage. Sandoval has now hit safely in 12 of her last 14, but again goes down to lead off the third. And here is Shelby Savage showing butt. Takes a strike away, no balls, 1 strike. Shelby Savage with career home run number 6. On the season, it was her third of her 5th season on Bison Hill. One of those OBU players that took advantage of the extra year granted by the NCAA. 0-1 pitch. Off speed, 1 ball, 1 strike. So Howe has come in and for the most part been pretty effective with the 1 mistake to Sparks. She's retired 4 of the 5 OBU hitters that she's faced. 8-0 Oklahoma Baptist, bottom of the third. Here is the 1-1 pitch. Tried to bunt, and that one was way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Savage had her only career triple in 203 previous games on March the 7th. A hit that drove in 3 against Southwestern OBU, sweeping the Lady Bulldogs here in Shawnee. 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Next week, Oklahoma Baptist will see the preseason number 1 ranked team in the country in Southern Arkansas. In comes the 2-2 pitch. Change up, and it's a strike. And Savage knew it. She just pulled the bat down and slowly walks over to the dugout. So good job of changing speeds there by Hannah Howe, who gets her first strikeout. And here is Reagan Ford. Reagan Ford on the season has 1 at bat, and she is hitless. She scored 10 runs, primarily used as a courtesy runner. Left-handed batter into the lineup for McKenna Anderson, who was injured back in the second. First pitch is a strike at the knees, and Hannah Howell has settled in comfortably. It's no balls and 1 strike. Reagan Ford, 5'6", freshman out of Sutter, California, played at Sutter Union. The pitch outside, and the count's 1 ball, 1 strike. Reagan Ford facing, obviously, a Northwestern Oklahoma State pitching for the first time in her young career. 1-1 pitch. It's outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Northwestern playing her as a slap hitter. The left side of the infield is well in, as is the third baseman, Allison Zanka. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Looked at for a strike, and it's 2-2. Reagan Burleson came in for Giorgio in the second inning defensively, remains out there at shortstop. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Slap foul and almost hit the on-deck hitter, Calamura, who hopscotches out of the way. So Howell trying to keep Oklahoma Baptist scoreless for the first time in the first 3 innings of this ballgame. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Burleson a deep breath goes into the one-up, a little bouncer right of the circle. Fielded by Howell to first and out at first base. Good stretch that time at first to get the out by Bushy. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. On to the 4th. It's 8-0 Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
Bases time with a 2-play foul for foul. During the 4th inning, anyone that returns a foul ball to the press box will receive a free 2-play coupon.
Well, Hannah Howe figured out, at least for an inning, the way to slow down Oklahoma Baptist. Now the Northwestern Bats need to figure out a way to get to Kaylee Jones, who has faced 9 and retired all 9, and 5 of those have been via the strikeout. Hal, McElroy, and then Johnson if anybody reaches the DP Gann here in the 4th inning. Hal and McElroy struck out against Kaylee in the 2nd. Solberg struck out for out number 2 in the 2nd. And Giorgio and Leon, along with Housley, all struck out in the 3rd inning. 8 runs, 9 hits for Oklahoma Baptist. Nothing doing except 1 error on the board out in right center for Northwestern. Here's the first pitch from Kaylee Jones, and it's popped up for a strike. Northwestern is very aggressive offensively. They don't stand up there and take a lot of pitches. Even an 0 for 14 hitter a moment ago, and Leon was able to fight off not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 2-strike offerings from Jones. In comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Both games for you tomorrow here on the Bison Sports Network, youtube.com/OBU Athletics 1. In comes the 1-1 pitch. High and away, 2 balls and 1 strike. Not much wind at all. It was out of the south-southeast at about 10 miles per hour. The flag gently blowing it straightaway center. Here's Jones's 2-1 pitch. That's belted down the line and left. Trouble if it stays fair, and it is gone. Hannah Howell, with 1 swing of the bat, ends the no-hit shutout. And Northwestern's on the board. It's 8-1. That is her 4th home run of the year. That ties or breaks a tie for first with Lindsey McElroy. And that ball was, and it was hard to see from this vantage point, it was either just inside the foul pole or it went right over the top of it. So it wasn't fair by much, but it was a fair ball, a well-hit one, and it's 8-1 OBU. And here comes McElroy, who takes high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. I stand corrected. Solberg has 5 home runs. Hannah Howell has 4. Those are the top now 2 on the Northwestern roster. Next pitch is outside. 2 balls, no strikes. In comes the 2-0 offering. In there for a strike, 2-1 the count. Jones needs to forget about that one, bear down and get McElroy. Still with a 7-run lead, so that run right now doesn't mean a lot. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fly ball, shallow left. In comes Ford, out goes Sandoval, and it's Reagan that makes the catch, and it's out number 1. So Reagan Ford handles her first chance out in left field, and here is Callie Johnson.
Wow, right on time. 11. Wow.
Callie Johnson is 0 for 1. Flied out to Demery and right to close the first. Jones gets the sign and brings it home, and a fastball in the outside corner for a strike. Stampede donors are making a direct and tangible impact on the success of over 550 OBU student athletes in the classroom, in the community, and in the fields of competition. Pitch fouled back, and the count's no balls, 2 strikes. When you get to the Stampede, you are truly investing in champions. Learn more and sign up today at obubison.com/Stampede. 8-1. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Here's Jones's pitch. Ground ball underneath Henry's glove. Backed up by Sandoval. Deep short, and she guns it to first to get Johnson. So the 6-3 put out. Now it's up to Mace again. Sandoval sure-handed out there at shortstop. That ball was hard hit. Scooted right underneath the glove of Asia Henry, who was moving to her left. Melissa Gann flew out to left fielder McKenna Anderson in the 2nd inning. Anderson since has been lifted because of injury and replaced by Reagan Ford. First pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Gann came in 19 appearances and 10 starts. Batting .407, 11 hits, 27 at-bats, 1 home run and 6 driven in. Next pitch fouled back, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Baseball tonight against Scott Creighton will go for Northwestern. Series opener up at Alva against Jake Lipetsky. Northwestern much, much better this year. Tied for 4th in the conference standings, beginning play tonight, just 2 back of Arkansas Tech and OBU. Pitch fouled back to the screen, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan Bowen, the former Southeastern Oklahoma State player and assistant coach, doing a remarkable job up there at Alva. Be a tough 3-game series for the Bison. 1-2 pitch. Little looper into left field, and it's down for a hit, and it's going to 1 hop to the fence. Gann motors into second, and the throw into the bag is not in time. Savage, who leads OBU with 4 outfield assists, made a perfect throw. And the field umpire right there said that Calamura did not get the glove down in time. So Gann slides in with a double. And both of Northwestern's hits here with this 4th inning have gone for extra bases. Here is Solberg, who struck out swinging in the 2nd. And the team leader with 5 home runs and 17 driven in. Haley Jones goes to the windup and brings it home, and the first pitch is high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. You can see that the Lady Rangers have made some adjustments the 2nd time through the lineup against Kaylee Jones. League leader in strikeouts. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Bo Dallas expected to go in the middle game of that series tomorrow. The second 9-inning game, Raul Rizzo would pitch the finale if all goes as scheduled for the Bison this weekend at Northwestern. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Solberg missed one away, and it's now 2 balls and a strike. Soccer getting ready to host the Great American Conference semifinals and championship game here in Shawnee. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike White's ball club. 2 ties, 1 against SWOSU. Won the regular season championship after finishing off the regular portion of the schedule with a 1-0 rescheduled win earlier this week at Harding. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And a called third strike. Got her looking to the outside corner. Good job by Kaylee Jones. Works around the 2-out double. Northwestern gets one on the big home run by Hannah Howe. It's 8-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth in Shawnee on the Bison Sports Network.
2 hits, 0 errors, and 1 left on base. A grand sport of Bison softball. First National makes us the trust and exclusive home of OBU Jewish Checking Account. Learn more at fndokla.bank.
I don't know what you're talking
I think not. I said and trust. I think not. I said and trust.
Kylie Kawamura to lead off. Kawamura 10 for 21, hitting .476 as a leadoff hitter. Those 10 hits are second only to Cheyenne Sandoval, who has 12. But Sandoval this year has been primarily used as the leadoff hitter for OBU. So Kawamura, Demery, and then Jaden James to face Hannah Howe. Jaden James was the first Bison to face Howe and grounded out third to first. 8-1, bottom of the fourth inning here in the series opener between Northwestern and OBU. First pitch in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Both games again tomorrow here for you on the Bison Sports Network. More than likely we'll see another appearance from Jones as well as Aspen Younts for the Bison. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Grounded up the middle and through for a single. 10th hit for the Bison and a leadoff hit, the second of the day for Kawamura. And that is the second hit given up by Hannah Howe. So Cheyenne Demery, a two-hit ball game, putting a two-run double as part of the six-run, six-hit attack unleashed against the Northwestern starter Hannah Scroggin. Cheyenne Demery with her season-high sixth multi-hit game of the year, and she hits that one off the end of the bat and rolls it foul on the third base side for a strike. Demery, Kawamura, Savage, all with 5 multi-hit games on the season entering this afternoon. OBU as a team has 38 total extra base multi-hit games. Fly ball out into left field. Tracking is McElroy at the wall. She's called out by Solberg, who makes the catch. Demery just didn't get quite enough of that one, and scurrying back to first is Kylie Kawamura with one out. Run rule is 8 after 5, so if OBU could push a run across and then hold Northwestern scoreless in their half of the fifth, this could be a quick early work day for Oklahoma Baptist. Here's Jaden James, who had a multi-hit game herself, 2 for 3 against Southern Nazarene, her debut on Tuesday. Is jammed, rolls that one out to short. They'll go to second for one, to throw to first in time for a double play. So Burleson starts the 6-4-3 twin killing, and Kawamura is erased after the leadoff single. No hits, one left. One hit, no runs, and nobody left. After 4, 8-1, Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
For OBU in the bottom of the fourth inning, there were no runs on one hit, 0 errors, and 0 left on base. After 4 innings in play, the score is OBU 8, Rangers 1.
Todd Miller back here with you at Bison Softball Park in Shawnee. 8-1 Oklahoma Baptist. We go to the top of the fifth inning. OBU is out hit Northwestern 10-2. Rangers were the only error of the game thus far. You can see that Kaylee Jones and Josie Sparks did not get out there in very quick fashion. The reason is they were over conferring with Sam Maples near the Bison on deck circle. Want to make sure they have things in order as they face Zanka, Burleson, and Leon for a second time. OBU getting RBIs from Sparks and Richardson of the first. A 2-run home run by Savage, a 2-run home run by Sparks, and a 2-run double from Demery in the second. Northwestern's only run coming on a leadoff home run just inside the foul line. Back in the fourth inning from Hannah Howe. Here's Allison Zanka, who's 0 for 1 today, rolled out short to first. And Jones brings home the first pitch. Swing and a miss for a strike. It's 0-1. Sam Maples continuing to gather steam with this program in her third season, really her second full year. 46-62, 31 wins in conference play. Here's the 0-1 pitch upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. This program was not winning when she took over. They went 17-39 her first year. They were all alone in second place of the conference after the very early portion of the league schedule last year. Finished 14-10 in that truncated season, and now 15-13 here in 2021. Called strike in the inside corner. It's now 2-1. Jones against Allison Zanka. Kaylee's pitch is lined into left field. That is trouble. Savage can run but won't be able to get there. Zanka's going to try and now puts the brakes on herself. Started to say she was going to try to stretch that into a double, but don't do it against Shelby Savage. Savage already, as we told you in the last inning defensively, leads Oklahoma Baptist with 4 outfield assists. She had 2 of those to help save the game against Arkansas Tech here 2 weeks ago. And nearly had her 5th on that double by Gann, who just slid underneath the tag back in the 4th. First pitch to Burleson is low, 1 ball, no strikes. Reagan Burleson came in defensively in the second inning. This is her 19th appearance, 10 for 39 is Burleson's batting. Fouls that one off the catcher's glove, and it's now 1 ball, 1 strike. Richardson, Calamura on the right side of the infield, Sandoval, Henry on the left side with Ford, Savage, and Demery left to right over the outfield. Josie Sparks is the catcher. Kaylee Jones is in the circle. Kaylee Jones has gone the distance already 11 times in 16 starts this year. Here's Kaylee's pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Advantage to the sophomore right-hander. 21st appearance, 17th start. Jones has 4 shutouts, and that ended her bid for a 5th back in the 4th. Foul back, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jones has allowed just 3 hits. The home run by Howell and the double by Gann back in the second. The leadoff single to left center field by Allison Zanka. Opponents hitting .233 off Kaylee Jones coming into this weekend. 1-2. And the pitch popped up and over the Ranger dugout and out of play. Bison looking for their 17th win here at Bison Softball Park in the 3 seasons under Sam Maples. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Giorgio. And that is strikeout now, number 7 for Kaylee Jones.
Number 17.
Make that 8. And here's Kaylin Leon. So Burleson strikes out swinging. Leon, who struck out swinging her first time up in the second, now steps in. And the first pitch is upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. In comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. Jones gets the sign, now brings it home. Swing and a miss. Challenged over the fastball, up and away, and she missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes, and Jones brings it home. The rise ball stays upstairs. It's 2-2. ShopOBUBison.com is your home for the very best and officially licensed Bison apparel from brands like Adidas, Callaway Golf, Columbia, and Under Armour. Visit ShopOBUBison.com, the official online store for OBU Athletics. Pop up behind home plate, and that will settle into the bleachers and hit underneath the press box as the count holds 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bison looking for their 6th straight win of the series against Northwestern. Baseball tonight will look to remain perfect in the Great American Conference head-to-head matchup with Northwestern. Hard to believe, but OBU has never lost a Division II baseball game against Northwestern. They're 15-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and it's down and in, 3 balls and 2 strikes. That record, though, will be seriously challenged this week. That's a good Northwestern team. Interesting to watch that one tonight. Scott Creedon, Jake Lipinski for OBU. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Leon, and now here is Kelsey Housley, who was called in on the 3rd strike back of the 3rd. Jones trying to prevent another run and then turn it over to the offense and run rule Northwestern at the bottom of the 5th. Bouncing ball to Calamura, on the move, plays the short hop, throws to first, hit it over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Can OBU walk it off? They need 1 to do it in the bottom of the 5th. After 4.5, 8-1, Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
0 errors and 1 left on base. This year, Tinker Federal Credit Union is celebrating 75 years of TNCU and you. Helping members achieve their goals and realize their dreams since 1946. Learn more at tinkerfcu.org.
Congratulations to Oklahoma Baptist regular season 5th ranked and unbeaten champions. They demolished East Central last night 3-0 in the quarterfinals here at Shawnee. They have moved on to Harding to face Arkansas Tech in the semifinals tomorrow over in Searcy. Anna Howell doing a great job with OBU volleyball in her 10th year here on Bison Hill. Hannah Howell has done a pretty good job, retiring 8 of the 10 Bison hitters she's faced. Gave up the 2-run home run to Josie Sparks as part of the 6-run second. And a leadoff single to Calamura, who was then erased on the lead out of a 6-4-3 double play to end the 4th. 1 strikeout for Hannah Howell, much better than what she's done her last 2 outings in 5 2/3. 16 earned runs. Tells you how good she has been. That just put her earned run average at 4.45. First pitch of the 5th to Sparks is a strike. It's 0-1. In fact, through March the 9th, an 8-7 loss at Southwestern, her earned run average was 1.79. Here's the pitch. Popped up, and that will get out of play on the first base side. 0-2 the count. What a year it's been. COVID still hanging around athletic departments. Kyle Webb missed some time with COVID. Then Sam Maples missed 7 games. last month with COVID. In comes the 0-2 pitch, and she throws it to the backstop. Oh, but you went 3-4 during that 7-game stretch without their head coach. But, boy, it really made things tough because Maples calls all the pitches. The catchers were handling the pitches in that 7-game absence. Little popper out to second, easy play for Johnson. And that's out number 1 here in the 5th. So here is Emily Richardson, Caitlin Marsh, Josie Sparks, the platoon, all season long behind the plate. Sparks getting the start today here in the series opener against Northwestern. Richardson is 0 for 1, flew out to Housley for the second out back in the second inning. She was the third Bison to face Howe in the ballgame. Fly ball center field. Did she get enough of it? And going back to the wall is McElroy, who feels her way and makes the play. So Demery just missed a home run to left last inning, and Richardson to right center here in the 5th.
Asia Henry.
Here's Asia Henry. He's 0 for 2. Line to third, grounded out, pitcher to first. With that double play, that is now 10 straight retired by Hannah Howe. First pitch is lined down the line and right. Playable for Housley. In the corner, makes the catch. And Henry is another long, loud out. So OBU goes in order in the 5th. We head to the 6th in Shawnee. It's 8-1 Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
8, Rangers 1.
1 run, 3 hits for Northwestern against Kaylee Jones, who has struck out 9 Lady Rangers today. It's 8-1 as we go to the 6th. OBU out hitting Northwestern 10-3. Kaylee Jones will face 1, 2, and 3 in the Northwestern lineup with Hannah Howell, who broke up the no-hit shutout bid. In fact, the bid for a perfect game. She became the first base runner after Kaylee Jones faced 9, retired 9 of the first 3 innings. Hannah Howell with her 4th home run of the year, her team high 20th RBI. It's also her 35th hit of the season. Hannah Howell is among the top 5 of the Great American Conference in overall hits. Just a sophomore from Anna, Texas. Came into relief of Hannah Scroggin. Righty versus righty, and here we go in the 6th inning. Jones' first pitch is high and away, 1 ball, no strikes.
It's so funny that y'all talking about it because I was like, James,
I told him to do that.
1-0, and the pitch. Hit well into center field and gone. Howell has done it again. And it's an 8-2 ball game. All of a sudden, a lot of emotion pouring from that first base dugout where the gray, black, and red are seated in this one. Hannah Howell, folks, is a player. She's done it in the circle, shutting down this OBU offense, and now has moved into a tie for the team lead with her 5th home run of the season. And out comes Sam Maples, the 3rd-year OBU head coach, to say something to Kaylee Jones. Sometimes you have to hold to the call to make sure it's going to get over the fence. There was no doubt about that one from Hannah Howe. Howe last year hit .333 in 27 at-bats over 14 games. She had 9 hits. She now is over 30 this season. Coach Maples visiting with the battery. Josie Sparks and Kaylee Jones. Kaylee Jones with 11 wins ranks among the league leaders in victories. She also was number 1 in the conference, now with 115 strikeouts of the season. Well, here is Lindsey McElroy, who's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. First pitch from Jones into the handle and fouled back for a strike. It's 0-1. Lindsey McElroy, the starting center fielder, trying to keep this newfound momentum going for Northwestern. She is a junior from Aledo, Texas. Here's the pitch, fouled back and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. McElroy, as a freshman in 2019, played in 51 games, had 19 hits and 13 RBIs. Here's the pitch. She waited on it patiently and bangs a breaking ball into left field. That's to the corner for extra bases. McElroy has her first hit, and the 5th now off Kaylee Jones for the Lady Rangers. McElroy did a terrific job in waiting back on that pitch from Kaylee Jones. And then she served it down the line and left a 2-hop to the fence just below the 200-foot sign. And that is going to be it for Kaylee Jones, as Aspen Younts is going to come into the ballgame. So Aspen Younts, the transfer from Crowder College in Missouri, native of Pleasant Hill, Missouri, comes in and will try to put the fire out as Northwestern has a rally raging here in the 6th. First 2 have reached, 1 in, one at second, and nobody out. We'll tell you about Aspen Younts in a moment on the Bison Sports Network. If you are Sam Maples, you cannot blame her if she could stick her fingers down her throat and push her heart back down. She has seen this time and time again the last couple of weeks, and it's been in the 5th of the 6th innings in which teams have rallied. Southeastern did it twice. OBU was an eyelash away from sweeping that 3-game series. Bison had a lead going to the bottom of the 7th on Tuesday at Southern Nazarene, coughed that one up. And now, while it's still a 6-run game, 1 in, 1 on, in scoring position and nobody out. And Aspen Younts comes in for the 17th time, or 7th in relief. And now Josie Sparks is going to go out and visit with Aspen Younts. Younts had something on her that was illegal, so they made her take it off before she throws the first pitch. Aspen's record 4-8 with an earned run average of 4.45. She has given up the lead in 2 of the last 4 Bison outings. Aspen, talented right-hander, delivers, and the first pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. We said it during the Arkansas Tech series here a couple of weeks ago. It's not her stuff. It's not her abilities that get Aspen in trouble. Sometimes she just doesn't trust herself. 1 ball, no strikes. Younts' pitch. Didn't mean to. Went around on 1 up and in, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Younts 66 innings, second only to Kaylee Jones, who's gone over 100 pitching today. 64 strikeouts, and walks have been a problem for Aspen this year with 30. League hitting .259. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball outside corner, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Younts may have gotten that call because you could see Josie Sparks frame that pitch for a second longer to give the home plate umpire the look. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball off the netting to the third base dugout. Callie Johnson flied out to right, grounded out short to first. She's 0 for 2. All of that against the starter, Kaylee Jones, who will depart the contest with a chance to pick up her 12th victory of the season. 9 strikeouts for Jones today. Change up, popped up, foul territory, third base side. Down the line comes Henry, calls off Sparks, makes the catch. And that's out number 1. So Mesa Gann now will bat. She had a double and was left stranded for Northwestern back in the 4th. Bison have lost 3 in a row. Oklahoma Baptist has not won since winning 5-3 on April the 1st in the first game of their series at Southeastern. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, Gann wanted to offer but did not, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Younts made an appearance Tuesday night in Bethany. 4 earned runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. In just an inning and a third in what turned out to be an 8-5 loss to the Crimson Storm. 1-0 pitch is upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. If you didn't hear the story of that game, it was a wild one in which OBU not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times gave up the lead. The final coming in a walk-off fashion in the 7th. Here's the 2-0 pitch. In there at the letters for a strike. Change speeds and it's 2-1. Bison led 1-0. It was 2-1 Southern Nazarene after 5. 3-2 OBU after 5.5. Southern Nazarene took a 4-3 lead. Bottom of the 6th, OBU led 5-4 going to the final half inning of that ball game. 3 balls and 1 strike. SNU got a walk-off hit. The base is loaded, 8-5 the final score. You can understand why Sam Maples may not be all that comfortable right here. And there's a strike at the knees. It's 3-2. 8 runs, 10 hits for Oklahoma Baptist. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Northwestern. Rangers have had a tough season, but boy, their heart is in this. They battle night in and night out, and they're doing it again here today in Shawnee. The 3-2 pitch. Gloved by Younts and picked up by Kalamura, but she didn't have a play. So that'll be an infield hit for Mesa Gann. They're at the quarters with 1 out. But Younts saved a run because if she doesn't get the glove down, that scoots into center field. And McElroy, who can run decently, would have come home from second to score. All of a sudden, the big mistake here to Jaden Solberg, who is their team leader in hits.
What's the number?
And this is a 3-run ball game. Shelby Robertson, a junior from Bartlesville, is in running at first base. So Shelby Robertson enters for Melissa Gann, the DP. Younts would like to get Solberg, who is their best power hitter, to roll over on one and get an inning-ending double play. Here's Aspen Younts' first pitch. In there for a strike. Solberg acted like she was going to offer, but did not. It's 0-1. Solberg has struck out twice, 2 of the 9 strikeouts against Jones today. Solberg struck out swinging to the second, was punched out on strikes in the 4th. Nothing to 1 the count. Runners at the corners, 1 out. We're in the 6th. Good swing, but fouls it back, and it's 0-2. The Bison, as of late, it has not been their offense. Earlier this year, they were really scuffling for runs to stay in ball games, but it's been in the circle where they've struggled over the last couple of weeks, really dating back to the Harding series 3 weeks ago. Here's the 2-0-2 pitch outside. Bison could have gone 3-0 in Searcy, instead settled for a 1-2 mark. They won the first two, dropped the third game here against Arkansas Tech, who has not lost since. Won the first at Southeastern, lost the last two in late inning fashions, and then gave up the lead in the seventh against Southern Nazarene. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Middle infielders, Calamur at second, Sandoval at short, hoping for a double play. Henry is in at third. Here's the pitch. And it's outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Josie Sparks, and we talked about this in the last home game, but maybe for some Northwestern listeners that are watching, where's number 70? The reason why, it's in honor of her brother Talon Fletcher, who was killed crossing a road when he was hit by a vehicle. Died 3 days later. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Good swing, popped it back and out of play. That happened on May 17th of 2013. He died 6 days later on the 23rd of March. Writes number 70 in the dirt before every swing. Now wears number 70 in the back of her jersey. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Good swing and a miss. A good pitch by Younce, and that's her first strikeout, and here comes Allison Zanka. Talon Fletcher was a really good football player. In fact, he had already committed verbally to become one of the first recruits in the Oklahoma Baptist football program. Was an organ donor and still lives on. He saved 4 lives the day that he passed. Younce's first pitch. Upstairs, throwing to second is in time. Sandoval with a hard tag into Robertson, who went sliding in. She got her in the face. And what a throw by Josie Sparks. So Northwestern just gets 1, 3 hits, and 2 left. After 5.5, it's 8-2, Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
0 errors and 1 left on base.
You don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey? Long brown hair, and she's so sweet. Yes, back there. Well, I can see you want me. That you know it's better than I know we ain't got much to say.
Hannah Howe will face 8-9-1 in Oklahoma Baptist lineup as we go to the 6th. With that caught stealing, opponents now are 38 of 46 this year, running on OBU. Cheyenne Sandoval, a single against today's starter Hannah Scroggin, came back in the 2nd. That also was the spark that lit the flame as part of a 6-run inning in the 2nd. That right now is the difference between these two teams. OBU with 2 of the 1st, 6 of the 2nd. Northwestern with Hannah Howe solo home runs in the 4th and here in the 6th. Sandoval to face Hannah Howe, and the first pitch is grounded past the first baseman and into right for a base hit. 11th hit of the ball game, and the 2nd for Cheyenne Sandoval, and it comes to start the 6th. Cloudy day here in Shawnee. OBU and Northwestern playing the first of a 3-game, 2-day weekend series. Here is Shelby Savage, who hit a 2-run home run back in the 2nd. She's 0 for 1, having been called out on strikes against Hannah Howe. That was in the 3rd. Howe delivers. First pitch is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. For Shelby Savage, the 2 RBI home run of the second gave her just her 3rd multi-RBI game of the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Downstairs and outside, gloved by Leon, and it's 2-0. Skies which were quite gray when we threw the first pitch just after 1 o'clock, really starting to lighten up. It's like the sun may be trying to peek through what has been a cloudy sky all afternoon long here in Shawnee. In comes the 2-0 pitch. Ground ball first, fair. It'll move the runner as Bushy will apply the tag to Savage. So Sandoval stands into second of the ground out. And here comes Reagan fourth. So it wasn't a sacrifice, but it worked just like one for Shelby. And Reagan Ford, who grounded out on the comebacker against this pitcher. Hal back in the third, now will bat. Cheyenne Demery today has extended her on-base streak to 3 straight. That currently is the longest active streak on the team. Dragged butt to the circle, picked up and thrown to first by Hal with Johnson covering. Over to third goes Sandoval now for Kylie Calamura.
Number 17, second baseman, Kylie Calamura.
Calamura has reached twice, scored twice. She has 2 hits. Calamura has her 6th multi-hit game of the season. Bison better figure out Hannah Hal because they're going to get a dose of her tomorrow. You can be for sure. First pitch from Hal downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Longest current hit streak of the ball club. Cheyenne Demery with 3 straight. The longest this year, Kylie Calamura hit safely in 10. 1-0 pitch upstairs, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Calamura hit safely in 3 of the 4 games on the road trip to Durant and Bethany. Was 4 for 12 against Savage Storm and Crimson Storm pitching. Still looking for an RBI, what would be her first in the last 6 games. Hit hard and foul, third base side. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Had an RBI opportunity in the first, reached an error. Singled after McKenna Anderson reached an infield single in the second. Unfortunately, Anderson was injured in the play and has been lifted for Reagan Ford. 2 balls, 1 strike. In comes the pitch. And a ground ball to third should do it. Zanka over to first, just did beat Kylie. And nothing comes of the leadoff single. 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 7th, 8-2, Oklahoma Baptist on the Bison Sports Network.
For OB in the bottom of the 6th inning, there are no runs on 1 hit, 0 errors, and 1 left on base. After 6 innings of play, the score is OBU 8, Rangers 2.
Allison Zanka to lead off the 7th, then Burleson, and then Leon, barring any pinch hitters here in the 7th inning. 8-2 Oklahoma Baptist. Aspen Younts came in and with the caught stealing, faced 3, retired 3, but did give up the infield single to Melissa Gann. So Aspen Younts to try and close this one out here in the 7th. Pitch Oklahoma Baptist to an even 500 record of the conference at 11-11. And their 16th win overall. It would be 1 shy from tying the most OBU's had in 3 seasons under Sam Maples. Building blocks. That's what this season is all about, and getting this program to the level everybody wants it to be. First pitch bounced fair over the third base glove, and it hit the chalk line down into the left field corner, and Ford quickly cuts it off and holds her to a single. So Allison Zanka could not have done that any better. It took a big hop over the drawn-in third baseman, and then if she'd walked down the line and dropped it, she wouldn't have hit it any more perfectly on the chalk line. Zanka with a 2-hit ball game, and here is the shortstop, Reagan Burleson. First pitch from Younts is fouled back for a strike. It's 0-1. Reagan Burleson struck out against Kaylee Jones. Jones, if you're just joining, struck out 9 today. She gave up 1 run and did so on only 3 hits. OBU led 8-0. It's now 8-2 with a runner at first and nobody out in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Checked her swing, fouled it off, but it's no balls, 2 strikes. Jill Devries, head coach for Northwestern Oklahoma State, graduated from Georgetown University in Washington. A member of the Hoyas softball program. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got her to chase one low and away. Big strikeout for Aspen. That's her second. And 1 down here in the Lady Rangers 7th for Leon. Leon will be lifted now for Megan Morgan LaNave out of Henderson, Nevada. So LaNave will bat.
Bench hitting, number 12, Morgan LaNeve.
Said LaNave, it's LaNeve, L-A-N-E-V-E. So Morgan LaNeve to bat here in the 7th inning. First pitch from Younts, grounded to short. Over to second for 1, throw to first, double play. OBU wins game 1 of the series, 8-2. So the Bison pick a fine time to get the first twin killing of the day. A 6-4-3 inning ending double play, and down go the Rangers here with a series opener, 8-2. Back with totals and highlights in a moment on the Bison Sports Network.
When your Bison win, you win at Whataburger. Just grab a coupon on your way out and take to your local Whataburger establishment. Fans, make sure to come back and see us tomorrow at noon for the final 2 games of the series. Tomorrow is Breast Cancer Awareness Day. So show your support by wearing pink. Drive safe and go Bison.
Morgan LaNeve comes off of the bench, rolls the first pitch she sees from Aspen Younts out to short. Turns out to be a 6-4-3 inning ending, game-ending double play. OBU wins it 8-2. 8 runs, 11 hits for the Bison, 2 runs, 7 hits for Northwestern, 1 error. The winner today will be Kaylee Jones, who will improve to 12-5. Jones officially pitched 5 innings. The first of 2 Lady Ranger pitchers, Hannah Scroggin, will take the loss. Scroggin will fall to 1-9. OBU got on the board with 2 runs in the first inning. They did it on 3 hits. They were aided by an error from the Northwestern shortstop, Elena Giorgio. RBIs, a single from Sparks, and a fielder's choice from Emily Richardson. Northwestern went in order in the second inning. OBU came back with 6 as they sent 9 to the plate. Got a leadoff single from Sandoval, a 2-run home run by Savage, an infield hit by McKenna Anderson, and then a single from Calamura before Demery banged a 2-run double home. 2 batters later, Sparks went over the left field fence, and OBU had capped that 6-run inning. Led 8-0. Northwestern came back with solo home runs in the 4th and the 6th innings from Hannah Howe. Howe pitched well in relief today of Hannah Scroggins, but it wasn't enough. The damage was already done. 8-2 the final score. 8 runs, 11 hits for OBU, 2 runs, 7 hits for Northwestern. With a win, Oklahoma Baptist now 11-11 of the Great American Conference, 16-13 overall. Northwestern dips to 8-20 of the season and 3-19 in conference play. They are now 5-10 on the road. Oklahoma Baptist here at home is 8-6. Final two games of the series coming up tomorrow at noon. We'll have both games for you right here on the Bison Sports Network. Final score, final time, Oklahoma Baptist 8, Northwestern Oklahoma State 2. We'll see you at noon tomorrow. Until then, this is Todd Miller. So long, everybody, from Shawnee.